everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Kyle Bosman. Not feeling great today. Got a little lung butter. If you're wondering why I'm talking so weird, it's just a little cough. Nothing serious. But what I want to talk about today, something that happened at E3. E3 happened 12 days ago. I know it's a long time ago, but I'm still feeling its warmth. It still feels like a sunburn that I have still, but a nice sunburn. I don't mind getting sunburned by E3. Funny thing is looking back at my programming prior to E3, particularly this moment right here. Don't Final Fantasy VII. I'm serious about this. Don't you? Oh. Now, as we all know, Square Enix did in fact Final Fantasy VII. They went there to a dramatic success. You know, it was unimaginable how well they pulled that off. It's insane to me still. And I see many people around who say, hey, why is that a big deal? Yeah, I get you. I understand where you're coming from. So today's episode, why the Final Fantasy VII Remake is worth being excited about. So to fully explain this, we're going to need to take a look at history. Let's go back to the year 1999. We're going to TGS in September, Tokyo Game Show. The PlayStation 2 has just been unveiled. They're showing it off for the first time, what it's capable of. And at this time, there's more time between when a console is unveiled to when it launches. And so, at the time of unveiling, there aren't many games to show off. And so tech demos are more popular in this period. And so, how do we show off how powerful the PlayStation 2 is? We got tech demos with like rubber ducks. One of them is this scene from Final Fantasy VIII, the ballroom scene, running in engine. Look at this. This is how powerful the new console is. We get it. Perfect frame of reference for what the new machine will be capable of without having to see a game. Keep in mind, by the way, when this was shown off, no one was like, oh yeah, we need an HD remake of Final Fantasy VIII. No, that game just came out. That doesn't make sense. Why would you want a remake of that? So let's fast forward. Let's go to the year 2005. Only 6 years later, PlayStation 3 is unveiled. And, of course, we need tech demos. We got our rubber duckies, we got those. But from Square Enix, we get this Final Fantasy VII tech demo. And it looks incredible. Clearly marked tech demonstration. There's no mistaking what this is advertising. However, it ends right how Final Fantasy VII begins. It ends with all of us saying, whoa, I want to play that. To which Square Enix replies, no, you already have that. That game's old. Please look forward to Final Fantasy 13. And that didn't work. We all assumed it was still happening. I found a very funny GameSpot article about how Final Fantasy VII Remake is probably still happening from 2005. Ends with this quote, "At this point, we're willing to bet it's not a matter of if a Final Fantasy VII Remake will happen, but when." Time to cash in on that bet. That was a solid bet. You did it. It finally came true. Let's fast forward again to the year 2010. Final Fantasy 13 is out, finally. And in a book that Square Enix actually published, I think, called Battle Ultimania for Final Fantasy 13, there's an interview with the director, with the producer. Everybody's talking about the development of the game, surprisingly candidly, talking about why the game is so linear, streamlined is more of their words, but basically why the game doesn't have towns. And they just kind of said, hey, look, HD development is expensive. Money-wise, it takes a lot of time. We simply couldn't do it. We had to just force everything down into the most simplified Final Fantasy experience that we could. Gosh, that was depressing. Furthermore, the possibility of a Final Fantasy VII remake was directly addressed in this interview. Making graphics will take enormous time. Again, I'm just going with someone else's translation here, but the mentality that we had to accept for most of the last generation was that a Final Fantasy VII remake simply could not happen. That for the last 5 years, really all the news that we've gotten is that, hey, games are expensive to make, and look how much money we make from mobile games. Screw you for wanting a remake of Final Fantasy VII. And so we've dealt with that. That's been the reception, that's been the message sent to us. And that's been, disheartening. Let's fast forward again to the year 2014, just last year. Let's go to the PlayStation Experience, PSX in December, Las Vegas. Big old press event for who knows why. Shinji Hashimoto's on stage at the PlayStation Experience. He's smiling. And then just listen to this. Listen to how he just starts speaking.
17 long years ago.
Boom! Just a surge of sound, and you can't see it. But what happened here is the Final Fantasy VII logo appeared on the screen. That's all it took. And he's loving this. He's buttering that audience up. He knows what they want. And then he shows this trailer. And this is a bad trailer. This is not good. This is stupid. It seems insulting. That is not what anybody wanted. That is a PC port. Don't do that. It made so many people mad. It made this idiot mad. What is so frustrating about that is that Square Enix doesn't know that that is not what we wanted. That's not gonna get us excited. When people say Final Fantasy VII, I don't agree with these people. I don't want a remaster. I don't want a remake of Final Fantasy VII. But that was nothing. You announced nothing. And so E3 is coming. Square Enix, don't Final Fantasy VII. You'll be fine. Just don't talk about Final Fantasy VII. Then, of course, in Sony's press conference, this trailer starts. And listen to this music. It's not celebratory. It's scary. This music is so scary. The VO is scary. The shots chosen, they're all not distinctly Final Fantasy VII. You know, it's not starting where we stare at Aeris's breast for 10 minutes. It's like showing us shots we didn't expect to see, shots that we've never seen before of Final Fantasy VII. And so this is not absolutely, without a doubt, Final Fantasy VII until we see that Buster Sword. Now we know. And Cloud's not turning toward the camera and trying to look cool in his eyes. He's actually not even looking at us because we know his hair, we know his sword, we know his weird little naval mine shoulder pad. We know who that is. There's no need for a title, just the meteor, because we all know what that means. And then, finally, just the word remake with a huge bassy explosion to accompany that. That is a crazy trailer. If you are a person who makes trailers and are taking notes, stop there. Do not end your trailer with the word remake. That is a bad idea. You can only do that if you are this one game. You can only do that if people in 2005 were writing articles about your remake absolutely happening. You can't do that unless people have been demanding the word remake. Stupid people. Why would you demand that? Why would you think you can have that? A remake for 10 years. Then yes, you can put the word remake at the end of your trailer. Otherwise, that's a bad idea. Pandemonium. Remake. Don't do it. This trailer to me, I realize, is just CG. Yeah, it's not advertising a game, it's not advertising gameplay, it's not something we can play this fall. It is still worth being excited about because it represents more than just that one game. It represents Square Enix getting it. I'm no longer scared for this company. I used to be terrified. At the end of PSX, I was very concerned that this entire company was run by big dumb idiots. Now, at the end of E3, I'm very concerned that this company is run by mad geniuses. Look again at Shinji Hashimoto in December. He knows. He's thinking, you fools. You're playing right into my trap. We are, Shinji. What are we doing? I'm played right into your trap. Basically, why you can be excited about Final Fantasy VII is that it represents hope. We can be excited again. That game is not coming out soon, but every day until then, we can look forward to maybe Square Enix being back to where it was. This company used to be one of the best publishers and studios that video games had. And now it took like a generation off. A whole console generation of just sleeping through it, not giving us anything that used to resemble what it once was. And now we see things like that. And for that reason, that one CG trailer of a game that's very old and never coming out is worth being excited about. Or, as a wise soft drink once told me, we have press conferences because we have hype. And we have hype because we have hope. And we have hope because we have press conferences. Circle of E3. Everybody, that's the episode this week. If you're on Twitter, you can find me at Kyle Bosman. No, before I go, I made many mistakes in last week's episode. I was wandering around E3. It was all off the cuff. I didn't have a lot of time. I said one word I can't say. This one. Where are you? I said one word I can't say. I touched my nose 3 times. And so because of that, one person called me out on all of these instances, by the way. Of course, it's good old Oily. OJLI. I know how to spell your name now, too. So you get to be on the board 4 times. Okay. There's one Oily. We'll give this one some company over here. Hey, look at that spaceship. There's another Oily. Okay. And the last Oily can be like right here. Way smaller, just to scale. Okay. That's 4 Oilies. Have you caught up to Matrix? I bet you've caught up to Matrix in one fell swoop. That's pretty crazy, Oily. Not like in that. A little too many mistakes last week. Anyway, if you're on Twitter, you can find me at Kyle Bosman. I'll be back here next Wednesday. Hope to see you then.